is a very complicated story. I have put a briefing together for every president since Bill Clinton. Interplanetary war. This is the next big thing that they want the public to be afraid of.
This is a national security imperative.
We must have American dominance in space.
But it's all a lie.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the CGPATRIOT podcast. Today is March 17th, 2021. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. It's Wednesday. Wow, Tuesday flew by. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. If you haven't checked out the video that I posted yesterday, it has a lot to do with what I'm going to talk about today. So that video is posted in the links below. You can actually go on the channel too. It's yesterday's post from March 16th. And that has a link in the description to the video I'm going to be discussing today. However, I still haven't fully digested that video. Still going through it, but I did make a connection to what I believe is something kind of to talk about today. I mean, it's one of those things where I was watching the video again with my wife last night. The one that you'll find in that description. I'll put it in this description too. It's about 2.5 hour video. And the lady who's on that video is discussing a bunch of different topics, but they all relate to disclosure. And the disclosure is, God's decipher key. And that decipher key also comes with some letters. So let me hop in here and I'll show you that image so we can discuss it a little bit. So let's take a look at this. So if you're not familiar with this, I highly suggest you check out that video that I posted yesterday. It's in the description, and watch that video prior to watching this. However, I'm going to try to connect the dots a little bit so you're able to, follow along in this video. So as I was mentioning, I was watching this video with my wife last night. And it was the first time she saw it. She actually fell asleep the night before. My wife is 6 months pregnant, so you can't ping her for that. So she had fell asleep the night before, and I had stayed up till 2 a.m. to watch this. So I asked her to watch this last night, and she's watched about, I think we have an hour left in the video. So she's got the good gist of what's going on here. So let me pull that video up real quick so you guys can reference which one I'm talking about. So it's the reveal report, and the video is that first one that is 4 days old, streamed 4 days ago. I'm gonna go ahead and just pause it when I upload. I just don't want to show this video. It's not mine, but it's also, I really want you to watch this video. I might show a couple clips today so we can go over the connections I'm making, but I truly, this video needs to be watched from front to end to really understand it. And just keep your mind open if you can when you do watch it. Like I mentioned yesterday, I don't know the validity of this, but I do know that it resonates with me currently right now. It doesn't give me any weird feelings. So, and I did say yesterday it could be a psyop. I'm not sure, but I don't believe it is at this point. It seems that God is putting information in front of me to share with you guys, right? And that's why I have this channel. So, I prayed for knowledge, clarity, wisdom, and guidance, among other things, right? And I've been doing that nightly for a long time, for this past year. Well, those particular things for at least the last 3 to 6 months, more of the clarity and knowledge. And it seems as though each day I wake up, I've got more stuff crossing my plate. So it's a good thing. So I wanted to share this with you, the connections I've made to this video and Dr. Stephen Greer. And most of you are going to probably ask, if you haven't heard of Dr. Stephen Greer, he's got a couple movies. He is a UFOologist, I guess you would say, ufologist, and he's one of the world's leading guys on the subject of UFOs. Okay, he's literally debriefed presidents before. However, where I want to go with this, and again, this is all fresh for me based upon the video that I just showed you, and that if you watch that, you'll kind of get you'll know where I'm going with this. Is that so? Dr. Stephen Greer has a few different videos out, more recent. One of them's called Unacknowledged, and the other one's called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Okay, I want to go through the trailer of Dr. Stephen Greer's Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and then we can discuss it. But I want to show how I believe that relates to this diagram. And I'm not going to be able to do this justice by explaining this diagram. Watch the video that I just showed you. In short, this is God's song, okay? And these are all of the letters which would be associated with numbers. And this is kind of the decode, all right? So before we watch Dr. Greer video, you know what, I am gonna go through this just a minute. So if you look at this, and you can get this screenshot from the video in the description. So if you look at this, she explains, and I hope I'm getting this right, she explains that this is God, okay? And that Earth is this, what she explains is a square, all right? And then you've got your Mason symbol here, okay? And that you've got your layers of the Earth. And the difference between the light lines and the dark lines is when God said, "Let there be light." And he separated the light from the waters. And everything that you see that's dark are the waters, okay? So, hope I'm explaining this as correctly as possible. Again, it was a lot of information. So the concept is, from how I perceive this, and she does mention that this is not a flat. This is a flat representation of actually a 3D sphere. So, but not the sphere that, I don't believe it's the sphere that I definitely don't believe it's the sphere that NASA shows us, okay? So I also, the firmament and the things that go along with the flat Earth, that I have a video below and in the channel that you can kind of take a look at that. I think this aligns more with a merge of the flat Earth. I hope I didn't completely off-put everybody on this video right now by talking about flat Earth. But there's something going on, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be flat, but I'll tell you what, all of the scientific proofs point to it being flat, right? Or a flat plane. Now, whether or not that's a flat plane that exists in a dimension, I am not sure, but I know it's not the globe that we see. We've got no images, no real images of that from NASA, and we can go over that again in a future video. But so that being said, the rings that go out around this outside are dimensions, okay? And then the missing area pieces of this, okay, are gates. All right? And these gates, based upon what I remember she mentioned in the video, are being guarded by certain entities, fallen angels, okay? And they can't get back into heaven, and they can't go into these other dimensions. Or they can get in these other dimensions, but they can't go back in heaven, and they can guard the gates, okay? And the concept is that these gates there's access portals that exist around the globe, and they've been hiding this information from us for a long time. So again, I don't know this 100%. I do know it resonates with me, And there's something about this, it just clicks, okay? So, and it came at such a interesting time in this awakening, all right? So, I'll let you do what you do with this information. You can go to that video and check it out. So one of the things I want to mention before I show the Stephen Greer video is that, so these are dimensions, right? So it's kind of like layers, like a tree. She makes that analogy, right? So, you know, if you look at this and you split it, it's kind of, you know, the flat Earth model, right? You've got your firmaments, but you have multiple firmaments, right? And as you go in up in dimensions, and she also mentions that there are more than just these layers here. There's about 3 or 4 more that go outside of this. And it could be, she doesn't say this, but I'd imagine it's, you know, what folks would say is ascension. Okay. So the concept is that, okay, so the gates are being, what she says is the gates are being guarded by other dimensional beings that happen to be fallen angels. So they're in the demonic, I guess you would say, section of this. And my wife brought up a question last night, and I'll bring it up here, is that if that's the case, why would God let fallen angels or demonic beings, you know, guard the gates to ascension or heaven, right? And I couldn't answer that question right away, but, you know, I kept going back to, you know, my thoughts on it. I don't know definitively, obviously, are, you know, we have free will, okay? And if the gates are being guarded by these fallen angels, because these fallen angels, they're not tethered to these gates, but they're not able to go to heaven, okay? And sorry to bounce around, but she explains that these fallen angels, you know, mated or had relationships with humans at one point, and that's what produced the Nephilim, okay, which is half angelic, half human. And they did that because they wanted the hybrids to be able to access heaven, because they had both bloodlines in them. So she mentions that God eventually made it so they can't do that anymore, okay? So the concept is she's talking about how these gatekeepers are in coordination with the deep state, in essence, and they are coordinating to be able to try and pull off what they did with the Nephilim, but in a manner that would be creating an army of people, okay? And then these people happen to be controlled by everything we've learned this year, okay? By the, I don't want to throw off the YouTube filters, but by all of the things that we understand to be the mark of the beast and all of these things. Okay, so this concept is that these gates are being guarded by these demonic forces, fallen angels. So I thought to myself, and I connected the dots because I was really into the Stephen Greer stuff. I saw his videos a couple months ago. No, actually probably like 8 months ago. So there's the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind and Unacknowledged. And he mentions in Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind that he has broken the code to, you know, this cipher key to be able to talk to these dimensional beings. So, dimensional beings in this video, in this one, are fallen angels, and among other things, possibly. But Stephen Greer says that he's created a decipher key, which is called, and he's got a CS5 contact app, and I downloaded that originally 9 months ago, and that app plays a tune, some kind of frequency and harmonics that resonate and help you while you meditate to form a connection with these other dimensional UFOs, right? So I think that's a good segue into this. I'm going to show you the trailer real quick of CS5, okay?
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
The question is often asked, when will UFO disclosure happen?
These lights, they keep coming together.
The answer is, it has.
The New York Times revealed the existence of a secret government program to investigate UFO sites.
This is a very complicated story. I have put a briefing together for every president since Bill Clinton. Interplanetary war.
Look at this.
This is the next big thing that they want the public to be afraid of.
This is a national security imperative.
We must have American dominance in space.
But it's all a lie.
The national security state. They want to establish a planetary government by spinning that this is a threat.
One set of facts, two narratives. The threat isn't extraterrestrial. The threat is covert human.
The Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind protocols, developed by Dr. Greer, is the most dangerous information he has released to the public. Human-initiated communication with extraterrestrials is possible.
All of us are going to know the truth. This is our moment.
We have the ability to change life for the better.
Consciousness isn't limited by space and time. What I'm doing with CE5 is the foundation for the relationship between humans and these extraterrestrials.
But the implications are absolutely profound. It shows consciousness does affect reality.
A critical mass of people can shift an entire civilization. But the intelligence community don't want the public to know. They say, what's in it for me? It's easy. A new world, if you can take it.
Oh my God.
So, all right. So I agree with the overall statements he's making. You know, consciousness and in pretty much everything. I mean, you can't disagree with it. You can't disagree with the fact that the government's been hiding stuff from us. You can't disagree with the fact that, you know, one world government and all these things. But what we have noticed is that, and I'm just throwing this out there, food for thought. Okay, not saying Dr. Stephen Greer is part of the bad side or the good side. Okay, I really like his stuff, but if he goes pretty hard against the Space Force and Trump, by the way. Maybe not just Trump, but the Space Force. And he talks about how, you know, the Space Force is prepping for war and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So one would think that this could possibly be a psyop. As nice as this sounds, you know,
So we're going to know the truth. This is our moment.
And what would that psyop entail? Right? What would that psyop entail? It would entail the same kind of things they do to us today, which is basically reach out to the humanity in us, okay? Not Trump. Trump's good. They reach out to the humanity in us, and they try to utilize that humanity in that want for knowledge. This is, again, just a theory. Well, this is in regards to, you know, the whole CV-19, right? Our relationships with other people, to protect other people. You know, they utilize these you know, these great qualities we have about caring about society, you know, again, with the environment, right? And the whole movement for the Paris Climate Accord, which is complete garbage. So, and Trump, he knows that. He obviously knows that. So it's all like a mask, that part of it, to try to get us to give our permission to an evil force. Now, I'm not saying this is the same thing, okay? However, he mentions contacting outer dimensional beings, okay? And this video basically says outer dimensional beings are out here, but the gates to heaven or to the other dimensions are guarded by evil forces. So, it's one of the two. I don't know if you can merge both of those together. And if you think that those images that you see in Dr. Stephen Greer's, you know, in this, you know, that's a little bit coldish, but I understand. But if you see some of the, you know, the ideas here are this phenomenon, right, that they're looking at and that they're calling out is possibly the gatekeepers, or the gatekeepers, folks that work with the gatekeepers. And, you know, if you see, when you watch this video, this one with this image in it, she'll explain that it's just like the military. There's ranks, right? There's general, and then there's lieutenant and colonel and all those things. Okay, so again, just food for thought. I wanted to bring that up. I'll put the links to Close Encounters and also Unacknowledged. They're great movies. I think you should watch them. It's always good to have information. I'm just connecting the dots, and they connect pretty. It's pretty straightforward on this one for me, because, like I said, if this is, and I believe right now this is, it's the perfect timing for some kind of disclosure like this, and it resonates with me. Okay, you know, it's one of those things, like I mentioned before, it's one of those things. It's either going to resonate with you or not, but I can't think everything's a psyop. Okay. And if God is reaching out to us via this lady, you know, it looks like the things that it doesn't say we're, you know, on Earth on a ball spinning through space, you know, and nobody else exists but us in the universe for the most part, and that we're alone here. And that we're like a little grain of sand and we don't matter. And that this does not represent that, okay? This represents far more than that. So that's why I want to believe this. And I do believe this in general. Maybe not just this right now. Because, again, I don't know. I didn't get this directly from God. So I don't know. But I do. I'm going to be praying over it. And not over this image, but praying about insight into making sure that I'm following down the right path on this. So just want to give you guys that update on the connections. Again, making those connections. I thought about last night. I actually wrote it down. I wrote it down here. Connect Dr. Stephen Greer and CS5 to the Reveal report. So, all right. Well, I wanted to show you those two things. I would love if you guys could check this video out. The one that we talked about originally, which is this guy. The feedback is just astonishing. You know, Trump is of God and a man of God. You know, if you're Christian, and I consider myself Christian, the feedback in the chats was just unbelievably awesome. Okay, and yesterday it was at 40,000 views, and now it's at 46,000 views. I'm curious as to how long this is going to stay up here, but check it out. Just wanted to seed your guys' brain with some ideas. Again, question everything. I question everything. You have to. That's the only, and as I mentioned before, it's the only way to get out of this mind trap that we're in. question me, question any news that you get from any source, and compare it to how it resonates with you. You know, your intuition. And people's intuitions are starting to definitely go through the roof, okay? I did want to share one more thing. If you've seen my video with John Wick, I'll put the link below in the description. I talk about the black cube, and it was kind of interesting today. I woke up and I wanted to share this. I shared it on Twitter, and I wanted to share it with you guys here, okay? It is this image, which I'll tell you what. So I woke up this morning, looked at my window, a little groggy, and I saw this. So I discussed the black cube. And black cube doesn't, I think the cube in general doesn't necessarily have to be nefarious. I don't know. But I discussed that. And, you know, we're looking at this, we're looking at that, right? So this kind of hexagon, or this, my wife was like, that's a rhombus, it's not a square. But when you see it in her next, my wife is so literal. I love her for it. But if you see it in a different context, it is, she's discussing a square or a cube. So, but I saw this morning, took a photo, posted it on Twitter in a funny way. I said, you know, I'm out. The cube is following me, but this is legit. This is this morning. I took it from my phone. I put a little filter on it just so you can kind of see the, you know, the highlights and the lowlights a little bit better. But other than that, I haven't touched this photo at all. Okay, and from, I don't see straight lines and clouds, particularly straight lines and clouds that look like a cube, right? Just saying. I don't know. It was pretty cool. I will share this. I can't share this image with you guys, but you can follow me on Twitter. I'll put that link to my Twitter account below. They're regulating the Twitter sphere these days, so it might have to be updated, you know, so they kick us off there every once in a while. So anyways, wanted to show you that, guys, and I wanted to give you an update on the video I watched 2 days ago and the video I talked about yesterday, and connecting it to Stephen Greer. Again, I don't think that Stephen Greer is a bad guy. I don't know. I'm just connecting dots. So give me some of your feedback if you have it on the subject. Again, my email is thecgpatriot@gmail.com, thecgpatriot@gmail.com, and you could also put it in the comments below. I did want to thank everybody. I do want to thank everybody again for all the support. It's been amazing, and I can't wait to grow with you guys on these topics. It's pretty awesome. Never thought I'd be podcasting. I thought about it years ago, or last year at least, not on these topics. You know, it's crazy what a year can do. And I've always wanted to connect with folks that are like-minded and to share information that I've received, and just have a open dialogue conversation about it, you know. And most of the folks that I watch and pay close attention to in the video realm are kind of on the same page. They want to connect people to other people. They want to wake people up. They want to be part of a positive movement. So I really appreciate it, guys. You guys have a great Wednesday, the 17th. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Stay frosty.